In January 1966, the year began with Simon and Garfunkel's The Sounds of Silence, climbing to #1 on the charts. Its haunting lyrics and electric reworking marked a turning point for folk music, blending traditional storytelling with modern instrumentation. Day Tripper and We Can Work It Out by the Beatles were riding high, showcasing their unmatched ability to dominate the charts with innovative music. Meanwhile, in the U.S., you can tune in to the television show Hullabaloo and watch the Beatles review the hits from 1965. The Everly Brothers, Freddie and the Dreamers, and Smokey Robinson and the Miracles graced the Hullabaloo stage to perform as well. Elsewhere, the Spencer Davis Group's Keep On Running climbed to the #1 position in the UK, bringing gritty rhythm and blues to the forefront. This song's success reflected the growing influence of soul and blues on British pop music. In January 1966, The Who solidified their reputation as one of the most dynamic live acts with a powerful performance on television, captivating audiences with their raw energy on the show Shindig, along with the Kinks, who also performed. The Small Faces, the Kinks, Donovan, and Dusty Springfield took the stage, delivering energetic performances that captivated the audience on the British television show Ready, Steady, Go. London's Marquee Club hosted a series of incredible performers, including David Bowie and Pink Floyd. In an interview with the Record Mirror, the Kinks' Ray Davies said, "I've had a lot of good luck this past year with my songs. I mean, Peggy Lee recorded one of them. That was great. I like her style of singing, all breathy and throaty. But my trouble is this lack of communication with people. I like people, like them fine, but I can't talk to them in the way I really feel inside. Like, I'd like to ask you about a recent football match, but somehow I just can't. I have to let it come from whoever I'm talking to. I bet you feel uncomfortable talking to me. People do. They sometimes feel I'm just not contributing. That's why I'm so glad I'm interested in music and songwriting. Through songs, I can communicate. I can get what I'm thinking about across to other people. For this next year, I want to advance in the songwriting field. I want to write more descriptive songs, more introvert numbers. I want to get to a much deeper level." As the vibrant music scene unfolded, the Kinks' Well-Respected Man is climbing the charts, as is Stevie Wonder's Uptight, Everything's All Right.
Passing looks as well as built, an ever suave young man. Because my heart is true, she said, baby, everything is all right.
February 1966 continued as an exciting month for music, with a variety of notable releases. Imagine waking up on a cold winter morning and turning on the radio to your favorite station and hearing one hit song after another all day long.
You know love makes the world go round.
The Animals released their Best of the Animals compilation, showcasing iconic hits such as House of the Rising Sun and We Gotta Get Out of This Place, cementing their place as one of the leading bands of the British invasion. Meanwhile, the Supremes continued their streak of success with the album I Hear a Symphony, which included the title track that had recently topped the charts, displaying Diana Ross's captivating vocals and Motown's signature sound.
Whenever you're near, I hear a symphony.
The Rolling Stones kept fans enthralled with their bluesy hit 19th Nervous Breakdown, which highlighted their growing maturity and confidence as songwriters. Finally, Peter and Gordon offered the poignant track Woman, penned by Paul McCartney under the pseudonym Bernard Webb, adding a unique connection to the Beatles' influence. Donovan opens his U.S. tour at Carnegie Hall and then films his appearance on Hullabaloo.
Slowly
Beyond the music, societal behavior and language saw shifts that reflected broader changes in cultural acceptance. Chet Baker is arrested in Hollywood, and the same day Johnny Cash pleads guilty in El Paso, Texas. Both are substance-related charges. The Rolling Stones kicked off their first major tour of Australia and New Zealand in February 1966, thrilling fans down under with their energetic performances. The tour solidified their reputation as one of the most electrifying live acts of the time and further expanded their global appeal. In London, the iconic Marquee Club was buzzing with activity, hosting a stellar lineup that included the Yardbirds, featuring Jeff Beck, and emerging stars like Rod Stewart. The venue continued to be a breeding ground for future rock royalty and a hotspot for fans eager to get a front-row spot. John Lennon was interviewed by Melody Maker for their weekly special Hot Seat. Here are his takes on hot topics of 1966. Vietnam? I don't like what's happening there. Money? Nice, great. Playboy? The magazine or the man? The magazine? It's nice. Guitars? Guitars are great, part of life. Aeroplanes? I don't like them. At first they were a nice adventure. I like flying less the more we do. We can get to most places well enough by road. We've flown so much, something could happen the more we do. Epi? He's great, you know. When people talk about him, they say he can be a bit harsh, a bit of a bastard at times. He's a businessman. We only talk business about twice a year. He sometimes has a go at us, and then we have a go back, and it's forgotten. Liverpool? It's still home, even though my aunt has moved away, and I have to stay with Paul if I go there. While you see it your way, run the risk of knowing that our love... If you're one of the many people in 1966 looking to start a band, or are a musician looking for work or an establishment looking to hire a band, then you can turn to Melody Maker's pages of classified ads to get in on the action. There was no shortage of opportunities to get involved in the music industry on some level. In March, The Who released their latest single, Substitute. Meanwhile, they get into a legal dispute with their producer, Shel Talmy, after their deal with Polydor. He is seeking a legal injunction against them releasing their B-side to Substitute, as he states, I have a valid contract with them. But I'm a substitute for another guy. I look pretty tall, but my heels are high. The Beatles' Nowhere Man is quickly moving up the Billboard charts along with Lovin' Spoonful's latest release, Daydream, and Simon and Garfunkel's Homeward Bound.
Having a sweet dream. I've been dreaming since I woke up today.
One night stands, my suitcase and guitar in hand, and every stop is neatly planned for a...
Pink Floyd gained the spot for the Spontaneous Underground, a series of anything-goes Sunday afternoon happenings at the Marquee Club, featuring music, poetry, anti-conjuring acts, free haircuts, and near-naked audience members rolling in mounds of jelly. Melody Maker's Top 50 features the Kinks' dedicated follower of fashion, the Mindbenders' Groovy Kind of Love, and the Yardbirds' Shape of Things.
Eagerly pursuing all the latest fads and trends, 'cause she's a dedicated...
Wouldn't you agree, baby, you and me got a groovy kind of love. Rain, but we've seen the same.
At the Flamingo, catch John Mayall's Blues Breakers, then head over to the Marquee to catch The Action performing Land of a Thousand Dances, and the Small Faces perform their latest hit singles.
I said, na 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 na.
Melody Maker's National Beat Contest at Brighton's Regent Ballroom featured performances by the Small Faces, Dave Berry, and Georgie Fame. The Cavern Club, which was a beat music mecca just a couple years prior, is closed down, and they're trying to rally support from those who called the place home, but so far doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Pete Townsend is interviewed by Melody Maker for their Pop Thinks column, and here are a couple of his hot takes. Keith Moon? I've got all sorts of things I want to say about Keith Moon. He used to be a lot of fun. Unfortunately, he's turning into a little old man. It's a shame. He used to be young and unaffected by pop music, but now he's obsessed with money. I still like him, and I don't really care what he thinks of me. He's the only drummer in England I really want to play with. He's not interested in jazz and won't ever be a jazz drummer because he's more interested in looking good and being screamed at. Keith's aged so much. Pop art? It's still my favorite form of art. My favorite artists are Barry Fintoni and Peter Blake. What I like most of all is it's English. Foreign pop art, I hate. I don't think you can enjoy it unless it's relevant to your own country. It has no relevance to The Who, except we used its ideas. I think we did a lot for it in this country. If we hadn't done it, it might have taken another year to catch on. Pop art encompasses performances, what are called happenings, and auto-destructive performances, including smashing guitars. Kit Lambert and I are on the same wavelength, and I used to go on about it to him. I think the rest of the group tend to underestimate his ideas. Our deterioration now is proving how wrong they all were, and we've gone back to our manager on our hands and knees. Anyway, I used to talk to Kid about pop art a lot, and suddenly he came up with this idea. He told us Keith is going to have a bullseye on his t-shirt. Pete is going to wear badges. All these were his ideas. At the beginning, it took a lot of guts to wear them. Building on the groundwork of 1965 with the British invasion, Bob Dylan's genre-defying Bringing It All Back Home and the Beatles' Rubber Soul, 1966 shattered conventions across the musical spectrum. Musicians abandoned the predictable pop formula, embracing bolder, more experimental sounds that transform popular music. The Beach Boys say they have evolved 800% beyond their 1965 hit Barbara Ann. Brian Wilson elaborates. For myself, I don't go out on the tours at all now. I just work on production. I've spent 5 months working on this new album, and I think this album and the batch of new singles I've been working on, well, it's like I'm right in the golden era of what it's all about. It's all just coming out like breathing now. I give it a lot of credit, a lot of it, for everybody's success to the Beatles. They've had a tremendous universal influence. That Rubber Soul album was a great new contribution. It helped them reach a new plateau. The Byrds, well, they represent a certain projected attitude. They've got a place too, no doubt of that. I give Phil Spector credit for being the single most influential producer. He's timeless. He makes a milestone whenever he goes into a studio. Bob Dylan announces his upcoming tour of England in May, which will prove to be a legendary, contentious moment between artist and audience. April 1966 sees Cher's Bang Bang, My Baby Shot Me Down rising up the charts, along with Johnny Rivers' Secret Agent Man and The Outsiders' Time Won't Let Me.
Giving you a number and taking away your name. With that long.
Mick Jagger gives an insightful interview to Melody Maker, and the reporter is surprised by Jagger's cheerfulness and sense of humor after all the Jagger bashing that has taken place. Mick says of the 1966 music scene, let's start with England, the Beatles. I think they are our most creative songwriters and performers. Not only do they create material for themselves, they practically throw song ideas away for others. Maybe they're not valid, as the Yardbirds would say, but the way they use their ideas is fantastic. Think of You've Got to Hide Your Love Away and Michelle and the way they threw them away on LPs. That's confidence, something we have always lacked. I think The Who are really creative. Actually, Generation showed just how fast things move. There were lots of delays, and when they finally brought it out, it was a little bit passé, lyric-wise. There's certainly no death of pop ideas, but what I admire about the whole thing is that ideas and influences are coming from people who started out as amateurs. They've done the best they can, and with the talent they have, and ended up being recognized as the most talented and professional.
You better stop and look around. Here it comes.
Lulu drops out of her tour with Roy Orbison and the Walker Brothers due to a bad case of laryngitis. The Young Rascals' Good Lovin', the Beach Boys' Sloop John B., and Monday Monday by the Mamas and the Papas are fast chart climbers coming out of the U.S.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I feel so broke up. I wanna go home.
These releases illustrated the incredible diversity of 1966's music, setting the tone for a transformative year ahead.